Good evening, ladies and gentlecast. Here we are into the final 3 rounds of the season. Round number 10 takes us to the Austrian GP. We are here at the Red Bull Ring, Nick. A track that we've raced a lot in F1 and recently in ACC as well. And it's quite a well-known track in a lot of disciplines. And today we are here for a sprint race, followed by a full 50% race. No qualifying, so that means we have a reverse grid start for the sprint. And that's usually calling for chaos. The last time out we had that, it was in Miami in round 2, and then round 6 we have it in Baku. This time it's in a sort of an open track. The walls are further away. I don't suppose we're gonna expect too many incidents, right? Plus we have only 14 drivers today.
You say that, but Red Bull Ring, deceivingly easy. People think that it looks easy, to be fair. There's only about 10 corners here, and sector 1 is basically just a right-hander, but this turn 1 has caught a lot of people off guard before, especially with the small kink at the inside right before, or at the exit. Definitely a lot of drivers have missed the corner, maybe get a few track penalties, or even just clip the inside curve a bit too hard and launch themselves into the barrier. So, it's not the easiest out there, but, it can we can produce very interesting racing here.
Yeah, there's definitely some element of, you can say technical requirements in this track, especially in sector 2 where, the double left-handers, it's there usually we see people have it a little wrong, right? Because everywhere else on the track it's all right-hand turns after right-hand turns, and then suddenly you enter into the fast double left, the fastest part of the track, I suppose. And then that's where you get into trouble, especially on the exit of that second left-hander. Was it turn 6 that is? Or turn 7? And on the exit...
Turn
7. Yeah, the double lefts. Yeah, turn 6 and 7. You tend to get in trouble at the end of turn 6 and 7. Drivers tend to go side by side if you run wide. And sometimes the gravel is there to meet you. Here we have the sprint race straight away today, Nick. No practice sessions because
I definitely have to have a view of it. It's gonna be interesting to see drivers driving around here in a view. Sector 3 is also a very notorious place to have incidents as well. As you said, turn 6, turn 7, both drivers going side by side. So in turn 9 is where most drivers try to outbrake each other. And that's when you see the chaos happen. Very wide runoff there. So drivers might see it as an opportunity to make small mistakes to push their opponents out wide, but it's not as easy to return on track as well in that corner. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the drivers here behave for it.
Yeah, there you go. Screen share has been live. But yeah, let's get back to what's important out on track here. We have I was going to say all drivers, but it's the usual season end drop off, right? And plus the new game's out, so we'll definitely take a look into adjusting the schedule for maybe season 9, so that it doesn't enter into F1 25 and all that set of things. But there you go. We only have 14 drivers out on track today. So even if you're leading the championship, like Sharis is, he's starting down only in P12. And with 12 laps to go, 1 lap, 1 overtake, I think he could easily get back to the front of the track, of the grid for sure. And it's also an opportunity for every other drivers that are present here to rack up some more points in the closing stages of the championship. Constructors Championship, Nick, as we speak. Mercedes holding on to the lead by only 4 points after a poor turnout wasn't a poor turnout, it was a good showing from the Mercedes in Spain. 2 and 3 in qualifying, but then incidents took place. Swiss got disconnected and couldn't rejoin. That means only AJ managed to finish the race in a measly P5, was it? And then McLaren's finishing 1 and 6, I believe, and that's a good haul of points, getting them ever so much closer to that P1 spot. All the while, Williams, whose drivers may have been missing the races, they've dropped down a little bit, and Alpine finally have caught up to P3 right now. As of now, they're comfortably in P3. Still away a little bit more to go if they want to catch up to P1 and 2. Mathematically possible, but given how tight we are starting to fight at the front, I think Alpine's definitely hoping for that P3. And it's almost time to go. And I think, let's get the drivers ready. And Nick, let's take it away for the sprint start for today. Zakwan will be leading. It is his favorite track, as we have been hearing throughout the season, even before the season started. And let's wish him the very best for this track, Nick.
Yeah, style of the track, as well as just being in P1 given the reverse grid. So definitely have to see how he's able to defend stronger drivers such as Hidir, Tingwen. They are definitely across the season significantly faster, but if Zakwan's favoritism towards this track is anything to go by, maybe they'll know how to defend maybe strongly enough, or they might actually just keep it on track this time around and maybe haul some good points for the team, and finish the race in a very strong manner for them.
Indeed. And well, drivers have been extra kind today. We've been waiting almost 5 minutes here. So let's get the race started, ladies and gentlemen. We are at round number 10. This is the third to final race of the season. Next week, we'll be going to Silverstone for the penultimate race. And then the finale will be at Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix. 2 weeks to go. And the championships are getting closer. Chares could win the championship, the Drivers' Championship today, if he finishes 42 points ahead of AJ. Right now, the lead is 49 points. So AJ has to outscore Chares by 8 points at the very least to take it to Silverstone. And now, let's get into the race, Nick.
Yeah, and we are 5 red lights, and away we go for the sprint race. But both AlphaTauris actually, Tingwen having some issues and already fall back. Zakwan's defending hard against Ernest here into turn 1, and he spins. It saves it though. No issue there, so he can still continue through it. But you can see it's a newbie as well. AJ both having issues now at the far back, but they can slowly climb up to it. Ernest now takes the lead, as well as see some changes. Alan falling behind, pretty strong, as well as Kendra takes P4. Very strong battle here at the turn 2, turn 3, as some call it. Coming into turn 4. No DRS right now, so everyone has to fight for their positions on the sprint race. Though everyone goes through it cleanly, but as you can see, Ernest now already very far ahead. As we see them actually side-by-side battle with Ayman Haikal. Ayman Haikal takes the lead for this battle.
And it's a three-way fight as well into the middle sector, Nick, and that is very, very tight going into that part of the circuit. We were just talking about that early on, and now the drivers are showing us why it's pretty risky, and you might want to back out by the end of that part. And
caution in sector 3.
Yeah, a lot of caution. Let's bring up the track map as well, so we get some info on what's really going on track there. Track map, there you go. Track map finally has been enabled. All drivers. Zakwan is all the way at the back. Yeah, not a good start for him, Nick. First, his favorite track is not a good lap 1, and it's all the way down at the grid. But either way, we have plenty of battles here going on. So let's see. Into the braking zone, you can see just behind Switch, Scientist, Chares, everyone's just fighting for the position. And let's quickly bring up the tire data as well. You can see almost everyone going for the mediums here.
Half and half, I see.
Half and half. One driver on the hard tires. What's Newbie up to? What's his smoking, as we like to say? There's an Alpine, that's Raiden, trying to make a move on Levi. Last time out, we saw them going lap after lap, side by side, until the final lap. That was probably the best final lap we've had ever until today in MSRL. And Levi and Raiden are continuing that battle as they try to mount a challenge on Scientist here on the medium tires. Levi now trying to find a way through. Scientist getting a bit defensive over the curbs there, Nick.
Might have taken too much curb for the exit, as he does. And Levi exactly stuns him. I don't think Ernest will very appreciative of it. But Levi might want to give the position back, but he doesn't really have a choice with Raiden right on his back. I think if he really wants to, he might be courteous and give the position back later. But DRS is enabled, as Ernest tries to call back as much as he could, as Raiden's still on the back of Levi. I think Levi's getting a bit too pressured and tries to get things overtaken as soon as possible. It's very close. Almost taken out Raiden at the back wing there.
Right, now let's turn our attention real quick to the front as well here. McLaren versus Ferrari, 1 and 2. Ayman versus Kendrick. We've seen this before, and it's repeating this time around in Austria sprint race. Ayman defends from Kendrick. Chares closing in for that lead as well. Kendra's dropped on the P4, while Switz is holding on in P5. Ayman and Kendrick. This is a battle that we have seen before. And one more time, I think they're about to show us how to battle out on Austria.
Maybe, but as you see, very close between the two of them. Kendrick will have the DRS on the exit, but Chares also has the better exit as well. Will he be able to overtake both of them and lead for McLaren here. Maybe, maybe not. But Iman definitely would like to give it to Charis so that they can maximize the points. But Kendrick has a slow exit, and Iman just blocked by Kendrick due to the fact. But because of this, Charis has a very good run on the outside of Kendrick, and now
but here comes Kendra though. Almost made triple move there, and it's being banged a little bit by Switz. Was that? And that's a VSC that has been deployed by.
That's for Zegwen.
What reason?
At the back.
Is it Zegwen?
Yeah, the Zegwen at the back as well for spinning. Unfortunate for the driver. I think they're just cracking under pressure with how much the cars are driving. AJ though, not sure why has gone into the pits for another set of softs. That's not really ideal for the driver here.
Yeah, and he may be able to steal the fastest lap, which is still amounting to an extra point. Slowing down very quickly there. Pretty sure he wants to follow Delta here. Charis gets back into the lead. Business as usual for him. They still have the VSC out. We'll wait for that little blink on the top left. There you go. And that means VSC is going to be gone in about 10 to 15 seconds. Drivers will have to follow. No. And there you go. Lee Chi-chun gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. And that is not a good one for him. He'll have to serve the drive-through. He's probably going to fall all the way back to the grid here. Lap number 5 as Charis retakes the lead. Ayman and Kendra. This is not over just yet.
Yeah, as you see, and he gets another 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. Drivers need to remember to practice your pit lane entry. This is what happens when you don't. As you see, the fight here still continues to close as Switz gives the position back, I think. No, actually no, they're fighting for position right now. Kendra and Switz side by side. Kendra has the DRS. Alan though, following close behind just in case anything happens between the two of them. Just holding on tight for that position as much as he could. Williams behind Levi, already closing in, definitely wanted to overtake them as soon as possible though, but this is a very close fight. All the way from P7 all the way to P1. It's going to be a very long train, as you see even on the minimap here. Levi is the last guy on the train, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they fight for these positions at the front.
Yeah, I'm afraid the trade might get broken here. Charis pulls out 1 second gap and is quickly going to pull away. We know how quick he is once he gets into that free air. Right now, it's a train from P2 all the way down to P8 that looks like. And there you go, Alan going side by side with Switz into turn 1. Outbreaks him, takes the inside, but Switz braves it around the outside, defends their position, and now side by side they will go run up the hill. Both of them having DRS. Levi finding the opportunity as well around the outside. And is that going to be a position for Levi? He's boxed in. Switz has to yield. No, he goes for the dive on the inside once again on the medium tires, which may start to get better as this race goes on. He yields the position. He's now down to P7. And there you go. Raiden is behind him. Is he going to go for a move? No, Raiden is a little too far away. Switz holds on to that position. Levi, Alan, everyone's just stuck in this train all the way up to P2. So it's not over just yet for, well, the battle for P2 onwards. Kendrick, we've seen this before. Holding the fort, holding it down up in front in the car. He's pretty good at defending. We've seen how cleanly and aggressively he could defend. Can he show us how to defend once again today as we ride on board, this time with Kendra in P4 here, chasing after Ayman Haikal.
Yeah, but I feel like Kendrick's not too worried about it, given that Ayman seems to be a little bit slower than the rest of the grid, as well as being in the way with, as you see, Ayman just turning into Kendra on the inside and just getting spun. That's unfortunate
for a little pirouette there to rejoin the track. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate being around the outside. Ayman couldn't hold the position and he's down to P8. And immediately, Kendra spots the opportunity. Alan spotted the opportunity as well. Kendra now takes the P3 away. Gets the DRS? No one has DRS, surprisingly. He's in P3 right now. While Kendrick in P2 is pulling away. We've seen this before once again. Kendrick doing a pretty good job up in front, letting the crowd behind fight it out while he's extending the gap.
Yeah, but very strong performance by Alan right now. P4. They still have about 5 laps remaining, so he's just gotta make sure that he keeps it alive, and it's gonna be a very good point finish for the Aston Martin. Levi though at the back, just ready to pounce as soon as Alan makes any mistakes. So it's definitely gonna be the two of them to make sure that there's no compromised positions here. And right now, DRS to be given to Alan, as Kendra's a bit far behind from Kendrick. And will that overtake happen as they do? And a lot of space though. That's gonna compromise Alan's exit as Kendra just bumps into the back of Alan for
so much
exit.
Speed on the cutback, on the switchback. He almost spun Alan out, but this time he gets the DRS, goes around the outside. Alan defends the inside line. Switz goes for the move on Raiden. Is that? Yeah, and everyone's just trying to make up positions in this DRS stream, which is proving to be pretty difficult, especially when you have 3 back-to-back DRS zones here, Nick.
Yeah, as well, and back to back doesn't matter as well, but because remember that Alan has the softer tire compound that's gonna make him have more grip here, but it's already 7 laps in. Will the tire deck make the soft tire as grippy as the medium tire? That might have caused Alan a little bit. It might have been beneficial for Alan at the start, but maybe the tires will degrade now, or maybe Alan just not used to having a clean air in front. That might have caused him to lose some markers or the turn in, and causing him to have some weird lines you can see there. But right now, only time will tell, as Alan's already pretty far ahead of Kendra, even though the DRS is there, but Alan's already at the back of Kenrick. But thinks better of it. Maybe captures a better exit on turn 2 as he does. Turn 1 and gets the DRS, and it's gonna have a good overtake on Kenrick. That's a very smart overtake. Make sure that you have a lot more space in front to the driver, and then get a good run instead of just being so close that you just ram to the back of the driver in front. And that's a very good overtake by Alan.
Yeah, and this time now he's going to be under attack though on return. Kendrick not close enough. Although the medium tires should be better, but I think Alan just has enough left in the tank on that soft tires for now. Perhaps he could pull them along. Switz and Raiden side by side. They are into turn 4 on the exit of turn 4. Switz on the outside. Oh, is that him around?
Unfortunate.
Oh, just a little tap there. Unfortunately, he's lost only 1 position out of that, luckily, but that's a lot of time lost there with 3 laps to go in the race.
That's going to be unfortunate. I think Raiden will be a little bit sad for it, but I think we'll have to look at the replay to understand if it's just a little bit unfortunate, or there's some cheeky play involved. But it is what it is. Right now, back into the action. Back Kendra already now 4/10 closing in on Kendrick, but Kendra has the penalty to serve, so it's gonna be a fight to be in front just to make sure that as he gets another 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Definitely not ideal to do so, especially in a track like this. So it's definitely, as we say before, better to be clean than to get a bunch of penalties and just get your points taken away.
Yeah, on the cutback though this time around, both of them having DRS, so this is not going to be an easy pass for Kendra if he wants to get ahead. So right now, as it is, he will drop down possibly to P7 or P8 with that 6-second time penalty to his name there. Kendrick safely in P3 for sure, but he's losing touch there to Alan. Despite having the soft tires, Alan is still pulling a gap and maintaining gap to Sharis, which is promising for the race at the very least. Kendra still within 2/10 here. Now Kendrick has lost the DRS to Alan, so this might be the opportunity for Kendra to perform the overtake on this lap and possibly minimize some damage by pulling away ahead as much as possible.
Yeah, I can see here Kendrick not taking as much of the track limits as he could, but as you can see, taking too much of it might just cost you some penalties. I'm not sure what Kendra was trying to do. Could gone inside, but tried to do a fake out, but definitely it has not happened. That's very dangerous, but I guess we'll have to alright overtake you down in turn 3 maybe, as we see Kendra successfully makes an overtake onto turn 3.
Right, as Kendra now takes that P3 away from Kendrick. Kendrick will just have to follow him through. He will get that P3 away on penalties for sure, but question is how much more has Kendra have in his tank to pull away or possibly close up to Alan, and the gap behind to the pack, Raiden and Switch, it's not really growing, so it's sort of a stalemate right now as it is. Kendrick, the nearest driver to challenge for a position. Levi as well. Oh, that is pretty wide. Going on to the exit go of turn 7. That's usually where you get into trouble. And now into the final double right-hander here. Really almost losing the car. I mean, I could feel it from here. I'm pretty sure you could feel it too, Nick. But that's how hard Levi is pushing to get this overtake done on Kendrick. It's for P3 as it is.
Yeah, but you can see drivers now mounting a bunch of penalties here. Definitely not ideal, even for sprint race or even in the race. Definitely not a good idea to just get yourself a bunch of penalties just to finish the race. Definitely need to learn the track limits, especially when you're driving within the rules of the game here. So definitely, I think
on the exit, I think this.
Yeah, Levi's tires are definitely gone at the
done.
straight.
Yeah, and it is the last lap after all. So we got a few more corners to go. With Kendra in P3, he might drop to P4, 5, 6. Kendrick will take that P3 away, assuming everything goes well. And let's once again, let's go back to the front here. P12 to P1. Charis, as it stands, he had a 49 points lead into this race. He will score 10 more points, and that is going to extend his lead even further into the championship, and I think that is almost securing the championship, assuming he finishes the race. Even if Azwan wins, I think maybe Charis will just need to finish in P14 or 15. He will still win the championship today. And that's it. Alan takes that P2 away from Kendrick, and Levi takes that P4, Switz in P5. Kendra with that penalty drops down to P6. Raiden comes home in P7, and looks like Kendra, Switz might have been given the position again by Raiden. That's nice to see. And there you go, Azwan comes home in P10 after a push showing from him. Not sure what happened, perhaps some incidents at the start there. Fastest lap definitely belongs to, well, where is it? I don't see it. The fastest lap belongs to Azwan. So there you go, a consolation for sure for the Mercedes crew. One extra point for the team, and that's going to help them extend a little bit in the Drivers' Championship, Constructors' Championship for sure. But yeah, that's the sprint race done, Nick. And we have 36 laps coming after this for the main race.
Yeah, I can see here, very interesting race just from the sprint race itself, and we still have another race coming up, so very, very looking forward to see what the remaining race will be. And yeah, it's with how strong the drivers here are, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the main race, with our required pit stops, our required strategies to save your tires. Definitely gonna stir up a lot of different strategies here, I think.
Yeah, speaking of which is I guess it's a good segue to the strategies for today, Nick. We've seen softs and mediums throughout the sprint race, except for a wild Zanubi going for the hard tires here, which doesn't really make any difference at the end of the day. But what about the main race? That's where we will have to serve a mandatory pit stop. What's the options looking like today? Assuming it's dry, because I do see some clouds over in the horizon, Nick.
Well, I guess time will tell, huh? You're just gonna curse them with rain. But oh my god, you just had to say something.
Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have rain, and it doesn't seems to be just any rain. It looks like full wets is on the horizon here. It is raining. It is pouring down in the Styrian Hills today. The Austrian GP race is going to be starting out full wets as it stands. Finally, Nick. I'm sorry for this, but finally.
Well, on the fastest track as well, everyone's gonna love you for this. You think that people will be enjoying a fast, easy, easy going race, but we're here to fight for our lives and fight for the grid, all thanks to you with your commentators, Chris. But I think drivers will enjoy the fact that it's wet, maybe, but all I could say, it is not realistic, because in real life you get a red flag.
Well, thankfully in the games we can play around with the settings and turn off some spray, and race is good to go. Yeah, in real life this probably would have been a red flag for safety concerns. We don't have those in the Sims, so that's a good thing. Full wet race, Nick, and I think if it is going to lighten up, it's definitely going to be inters, maybe even dries at the end. But yeah, we'll see about that as the race progresses. No telemetry as usual, so we don't have any spoilers, so we keep it a little bit suspense in the commentary box here. So we are also surprised to see what's going to turn out on track. Right now, Nick, I think it's full wets for sure.
It definitely looks full wets. I don't see inters being an option here. You can gamble for it if you think that you can hold it on, but I'd say it's better to just stay safe. Give it full wets. We'll likely, with how heavy this rain is, maybe get to see a dry at the end of the race, but I doubt it. It really looks like it's just gonna be a full wet race, and I hope drivers are ready to deal with the fact that they're gonna spin a lot. Some of our more consistent drivers are gonna be very good. I think Charis is gonna be pretty much settled here. I think some of the drivers here might see the barrier once or twice a bit too much. I think we know a few that might be there, but hey, at the end of the day, when it comes to a wet race, it's all about survival. It doesn't matter how fast you go. being fast is just complementary. Staying alive gets you a long way here when in the wet race.
Yeah, and especially with 36 laps in the race, the lap count is pretty big, but it's a short track. So, usually in the dry, a 1 minute 10, 1 minute 11, that's where you'll probably be done with your race lap. But in the rain, you may take a little longer, maybe a 1:15, 1:12, 1:11, depending if it's on inters. Yeah, and it's still relatively fast lap around here. And despite the rain, and I think safety definitely going to be the concern at the start here. Turn 1 in rain, it's always tough. Out of turn 3 as well, slow traction zone. That's where your downforce, your patience on the throttle will be tested. And even into turn 3 itself, under the brakes, you don't want to lock those tires too early and run into the back of another car. And then there's turn 4, turn 5, all the high speed corners, which slowly turns into a slow creeping corner in the rain. So drivers will have to adjust their brakings, adjust their acceleration and steering as well, as they would try to navigate, get used to these conditions as soon as possible. If you have practiced, then you'll be fine. If you don't have any practice in the rain, well, you're gonna take definitely a few laps to warm up here, figuratively and literally to warm up your tires here. I think we have passed the 2 minutes that we usually wait for, and let's get the drivers ready as well. Most likely, I think they're just probably just assessing the situation here. So let's see if drivers are ready to go. And this time, 36 laps await us. Charis, as it stands, with that win, claims 10 points for the sprint win. Aswan coming home in P10. He will claim 1 point and an extra 1 point for the fastest lap, so 2 points. As it is, Aswan, his lead, he needs to catch up 57 points to Charis, but there you go, the maths is there. Charis will just need to get 42 points lead at the end of today's race, which means if Charis DNF, Aswan will have to finish at least P3 or better, take it to Silverstone.
I've informed the drivers that we are ready to go. It's up to them to ready up.
All right, while we're waiting
for you.
Yeah, while we're waiting to the questions in the chat, if you would love to join the league, there is a link in the description to join our Discord server. Once you're in, we'll guide you through for the SimGrid registration as well. 2 races to go, so even if it's just 1 or 2 races that you can attend, make sure to come along and show your talent. There is a lot of spots, as you can see from today's race. Show your talent, and most likely you'll definitely be wanting to join in season 8 in F1 24, which will be announced later this year. So countdown is going to start. We hear the ticks are here, and there we go. Well, let's see who survives the race start. 5 lights are coming on. 3, 4, 5. And we wait for them to go off. It's a quick 5 lights, and away we go. Charis starts off gingerly. Alan gets a good start as well. We can see a few drivers starting to jump positions. The Red Bulls are going side by side. 3 wide into turn 1. Which Red Bull's coming up ahead? That's Scientist who gets ahead. And we already have yellow at the back of the grid, and that is the other Red Bull of Kendra who's gone around. Lee Chi Chun has gone around as well. Fortunately, no incidents or no stoppages as of now. Full wet tires for everyone, and there's already contact on the exit of turn 3, Nick.
Yes, Raiden with Ernest. I think they just accidentally had a contact. Ernest tried to stop for it as well. All drivers. Definitely not the best start, but hey, it's a 36 lap race, especially in the wets. Things could happen, so drivers need to really start warming up the tires and also adapt to the very wet conditions as we see.
Speaking of adapting, there you go. Sainz is running wide. Levi making a brave lunge into turn 4, and now he's suddenly made up 3 positions and going for a move on Zinubi into the middle sector. He is warmed up already.
Oh my
and
god,
he's going for the move. Wow.
That is a Mercedes of AJ, I think, trying to almost not staying alive in that corner. I think AJ is very struggling here in this sector. Not sure if that's just a setup or just being uncomfortable with the wet weather. It's not a weather that most drivers practice for sure. As Zachwin on the inside of AJ, overtake by Zachwin. Oh, thinks better of it though. Very smart and very safe idea, but that has compromised his line. And Levi right now on the overtake as well. Well, it's a very close race, but can Levi make the overtake? No, he thinks better of it and tucks behind Zachwin though. A very close call by them, but definitely need to be more determined in terms of overtakes. As you see a very big train behind, as you see Zanubi getting pushed all the way back as Ting Tong Bell overtakes them for P10.
And the Red Bulls mounting a challenge here on that Alfa Romeo. Looks like it's 2 for 1 here. No, Zanubi defends pretty hard there. Forces Kendra a little bit wide there. Cheeky for sure. Or is that Scientist that gets pushed wide? Now Kendra tucks into the slipstream and it's almost 3 wide again. Coming down into turn 4 here. Zanubi has the inside line. He might just go for the move. He goes and he defends at P11. Kendra though gets the cut back and goes for the move. 2 for 1 for the Red Bulls and they get ahead of Zanubi. What a good teamwork there. And they are up the position. Further ahead, Zakwan's dropping down the grid a little bit. He's run a little bit wide there in the middle sector and he is down to P12 there. Ting Tong Bell now lost the position to Ayman, who is still hanging in pretty close behind Levi Tiger Pants. Faster slaps are starting to come in. Alan within 1 second of Shari, so that's good news. As for now, it looks like Alan is doing his best to maintain the gap to Shari as eventually it may dry up.
Yeah, I think in these conditions, they favor wheel drivers a bit more, given that you need absolute control on your car with the minute inputs as well as the granularity that you can get on the wheel. But as you can see here, Ayman already at the back of Levi, might have an overtake, but Levi's been pretty strong here in the wet, so Ayman might not be able to get any move done. So it's going to be Levi trying to chase up for P6 in front, which is 3 seconds in front of him.
Yeah, that's the closest gap we have right now on track, which is not surprising to say the very least because it is raining. Drivers will take a little bit of time, and Ayman surprisingly doing pretty well to hold on to the back of Levi here as the drivers are starting to phase in a little bit. Kendrick running up in P3, so that's wonderful to see once again. We saw this last time out in Baku as well. Sprint race seems to be his thing, but guess what? The last time out, the last 2 times we've had sprint races, Charis didn't come out the best. So might this be the race where Alan probably gets his first win? But the gap as it is being extended 1.8 now, so half a second gained by Charis on that lap itself. Alan not exactly trying to push right now, but there you go. Switz finally a little bit of groove there. Oh, follows Kendrick off track a little bit there. It is super slippery right now, Nick. And
yes, that one gets more penalties at the back. Poor driver here. Especially Raiden, so 3 second penalty for track limits as well. It was already hard enough in the dries. It's gonna be even harder right now if all drivers in the wets as well. As you see, just now Raiden locking up for turn 3, but now barely able to accelerate down into the straight before turn 4. It's definitely gonna be a very, very long 36 laps for all these drivers as we fight for position. Switz though at the back of Kendrick. Kendrick might be struggling a little bit. Switz, more experience, better in the rain, tries to have an overtake, maybe not. It's gonna be maybe lining up for a good overtake down into turn 1, but you have to remember that they don't have DRS in this wet condition, so it's gonna be all about having a good exit as well as having enough energy to deplete for the lunge into every corner that they could get.
Yellows at the back, and that is most likely
Zakwan again.
That's Zakwan going a little bit slow coming out of turn 4, losing it a little bit on the traction. So, oh, Alan now 15.3, and he's closing in on Charis. So that's really encouraging to see in these wet conditions. So Alan sticking close to Charis, so they might be starting to pull away. Switz would love to join that party if he could get past Kendrick. This time around, he gets a good exit. Kendrick gets a poor one though, Nick.
And to squeeze him just enough. A nice squeeze, but we're very respectful. Now Switz on the outside. On the inside, breaks for it. Oh, Kendrick locking up for it as he's on the dry line. But a very good switch back though. Both drivers are going to have a drag race down into the next corner. Raiden's going to be have a good front row seat about it. So if they both have any incidents, Raiden's going to be the one first to capitalize. But Switz has a better exit and no. Wow. Side by side, touch a little bit.
Beautiful.
Oh, and a little bit of fight, and Kendrick takes position back. So it definitely has a little bit of a flashback, a little bit of a bad experience here from the last race, from the sprint race. But very enjoyable for the two of them to fight for this, and I think Switz is gonna put more effort into fighting back for the position a bit.
That's the Kendrick we know from the past sprint races in Miami, in Baku. We've seen this. When he gets in clean air, he's pretty good in defending as well and attacking. So he's doing well in these rainy conditions to keep it clean, keep the nose out of trouble, and he's holding on to that P3 all the while. Switz is losing time to the front runners who have extended their gap to 7 seconds, almost 8 now to Kendrick. Alan and Charis staying within about a second and a half. The gap's floating every now and then, every lap or so. So they're not exactly, faster than each other. If anything, they're just matching right now. Switch one more time. Can he get a good lunge into turn 3? No, he waits.
Not yet.
Is this going to be a switchback or a better exit? No, doesn't get a good exit this time.
Both cars struggling for grip, as you see Kendrick snapping a little bit as well. It's definitely a very hard track to master, especially in the wets, though, given how F1 doesn't simulate wet lines. Everyone's on the dry line, so it's going to be hard to drive regardless of where you are on the track itself.
Yeah, Kendra, although he had a good run into turn 3, but coming out of that...
full lockup on the inside.
Yeah, that's not going to help those tires for sure. But these tires, they're surprisingly durable. And although he has the gap, catching is one thing, passing is another, especially in the wets. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way through brute force. One more driver might start to get frustrated here, sitting behind Kendrick for a little too long is Switz. Kendrick is defending pretty well here to keep that P3 right now as it is. One more time, can he get a good run into turn 1? Out of turn 1, this might set up the move down into turn 3.
Oh, this lockup will not help him though, but I think Switch is gladly here because I don't think Raiden closing any further for the moment, but being in the dirty air as well as just having a distraction in front of it does not help Switz's lap time, though he's closing in pretty strong. Definitely needs to overtake him as soon as possible to not lose any much time.
Kendrick runs a little bit wide
has an
there.
opportunity, but nope.
Loses the backhand. Is this the opportunity for
again?
Switz?
It is. He does. It's a very clean overtake, but Raiden not close enough to capitalize on it. But definitely unfortunate for Kendrick, and he can't fight back for this. But you see Raiden just closing in significantly from that little bit of extra gain he gets from not having a mistake, and just like that, Raiden's straight at the back of Kendrick, and Kendrick has to defend for it. Oh, not the best idea there.
Yeah, Raiden thinks better of it, holds on for that for another lap. And let's quickly turn our attention to the front, Nick. Excuse me. As Alan suddenly, we find him within 5/10, 6/10 of Shares here. And that's yellow, and that is Aswan? Is that Aswan who's gone around? No, that's Aswan who's gone around on the exit of that double left hand in the middle sector. He's lost his front wing as well. There are yellows, but is that going to be a safety car of some sorts? Is he stuck there? Is he beached? Looks like it.
No, he's not beached. He's just not giving it enough turning radius, and that has caused him a multi-point turn just to get back on track.
Oh, and that's unfortunate. He still have his left end plate though. I think that right end plate is the one that has been suffering. Yeah, there you go. The right end plate is gone.
Okay.
Will this be a gamble for the intermediate tires in these conditions? The rain has lightened up a little bit, Nick.
No,
it has lightened up though. Oh.
It is lightened up, but it's still not there. Drivers are locking up left, right, and center. It's one thing if your drivers are not locking up in these conditions, but it's definitely too wet.
Oh, there you go. It is the Inters. Okay.
Tires.
The Inters are coming out.
I don't think that's a good juggle, though.
Yeah, time will tell if these Inters are going to be the fastest tire right now in these conditions. The rain has eased off quite a bit from the start. What are the drivers waiting for? That's the question. Sharis comes around the final corner here. He might lap AJ here. If AJ doesn't get a good exit, he gets a good clean exit, and he's out back in P13, P14 as Zakwan gets past him. So this is going to be holding him up a little bit as he tries to get back into the race here. P14 right now, not exactly where he wants. A little lock up there, sliding the ray into the corner, but he gets a decent exit. The tires might still be a little bit cold here on the pit exit. Ayman Aikal jumps into the pit. So is this a jump? A pit to overtake maneuver? I can see green wall there, Nick. This is the intermediates coming out once again. Yeah, there you go.
I feel like it's not a good idea though. You have not seen AJ set a lap time yet. So why are you getting into the inters when you're not sure if it's gonna work? If you see here, the fog is still very strong here. There is still extremely strong standing water. So why are we gambling for inters when we can't tell if it's gonna reduce in rain or not? Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see in a couple of laps. I think a lot of the drivers are gonna be looking at AJ, going to be looking at Ayman's lap time to see if it's even worth it to be in the inters.
This might be a tactical play though, Nick. I think if Ayman gets this outlap nailed, this might be the invitation for Sharis to make the jump and go into the pits as well, because I think he's struggling in the rain here. He might have more of a dry setup if anything, that is what it suggests. He is quick on the straights, but he's pretty slow in the corners. Switch into the pits as well, and I think this
Oh
just
my
about
God.
the crossover point here. Everyone's jumping in, so there you go.
Everyone's
3, 4,
jumping in.
5 is
Oh.
jumping in. All right, so this
Kendrick
might
almost goes into the back of Aiden.
yeah. Pretty dangerous move there, but there you go. Intermediate tires for everyone. Levi's in as well, and that Scientist coming in. Kendra staying out for another lap, possibly to let his teammate get to jump on the entry here. So we wait to see if the likes of Ayman, the likes of Aswan will set a faster lap. That might just be the indication it is starting to drying up much quicker than we expect here. Ellen just holding his own here. He's chilling in P2 here, right behind Sharez. I suspect Sharez might just have a dry setup here, while Alan is really focusing on the wet conditions. And time will tell who's going to be the faster driver by the end of the race. And now heading into the pit lane. Is this going to be a pit stop coming in for Sharez? Yes, it is.
Yes.
And that's
Both
Alan
drivers had a
jumping
pit
in.
stop.
Aswan says the fastest lap, Nick. So I think it is just about time.
Oh.
The crossover is just there.
Yeah, the fall definitely does not help with knowing if it's gonna rain or not. But both drivers now in the pits. Alan taking it very safe for the pit stop. Both, I think Alan's doing pretty well, and
A
you
little
see
too
the small
safe,
snippets.
if you think. That's
No,
lost him at least 2 or 3 seconds just to Sharez on the pit entry itself. On the exit, you may see that gap. Yeah, that's a pretty big gap there. I think Alan, in the name of taking it safe, I think he's taking it a little too safe here. Now it's still...
Oh, as hits the wall.
Wow. All right.
Saves it though with the minimal damage. Good thing. But definitely not ideal for the drivers. But I was gonna say Alan looked like he wasn't really pushing it that hard behind Sharez, but now he has to really push it just to keep out Sharez. Hopefully not much issues. He might get a bit hard-headed as he tries to catch up, but
5 seconds is
now's not
lost
the time
though.
to.
You're right.
Yeah,
5
but now's not the
seconds
time
is
to really
lost.
force yourself to be quick though. It's really about survival here, and even if we can't get P1, P2 is still very strong. Better to stay in P2 than just lose it all at the final corner.
Right, we see
Like
a
the
few more
second
drivers coming around the last corner here. Aswan starting to fight back here. P13 jump everyone in terms of going for the intermediate tires. It was a little unfortunate with that incident for sure, but there you go. Now he gets a move done. Oli Chichun, the Alfa Romeo kindly backs out. No, he's still attacking. He's going for the
No,
move.
still fighting.
Oh, he's still fighting. There you go. Wow, what a beautiful move. Runs wide though, and that is all
Yeah, it's
Aswan needs.
definitely
A
not gonna be
beautiful
happening.
switch back to get back up into P12.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen again in this corner. That's gonna be likely happen with novice drivers, especially relying too much on the racing line. But
That's yellow.
oh, AG
out of
falls
turn 1.
enough. Oh, that's Zag1, I think, out in turn 1 again. Unfortunate for your driver. It is very tricky conditions right now outside here, so
Still on the wets.
definitely interesting.
Still
on
on the wet
yes.
tires. I don't think that's the right call anymore, as he spun quite a bit. The Inters should be looking much quicker right now. Switch setting the fastest lap with 13.2, and I think it's just starting to dry up, or maybe just starting to stabilize a bit in terms of the weather.
I think it's just stabilizing. I don't think it's drying out.
Well, the suspense continues for sure, as we don't have an indication of what's happening with the weather, other than just riding on board and seeing what's happening out there. Closest battle out on track, Nick, so far, it is Levi in P6, fighting against Kendrick, who's holding himself pretty well here in P5 right now.
Yeah, but as you can see, the weather's actually, now that you look at it, the fog's starting to clear up. So it definitely has cleared up recently now, but both drivers struggling for grip as Sharez gets a 111.5, and if Alan's able to replicate it, that would be nice. But I think Alan's overtaking window has gone, given that the weather has dried up. The wets definitely has helped them in terms of being close to Sharez, but unfortunately, I think that window to overtake has gone.
That pit entry definitely costed Alan a lot. Too safe for sure. Being safe is good, but too safe, well, that's what you get. You've lost 5 seconds, and that's the gap that he'll have to make up in this condition. If he's quick in the rain, Alan might still have a chance to catch back up to Sharez, as we've seen on the wet stint early on. But once it gets to dry, I suspect Sharez may be business as usual for him if he has this gap here. So Alan has that 5 second, 6 second gap now to make it up towards the end of the race. As we continue
I didn't
on,
see that gap going.
Levi on Kendrick. Oof, that was pretty close there.
Very close. But I think tried to get out of the way, and now getting lapped is Zach-Win. But Levi's now basically slightly behind from that avoidance action. So definitely has to do a little bit of catch up. But drivers are kind of half racing, half surviving in this kind of treacherous weather. And unfortunately, the train has kind of split apart. We started out sprint race with a very close grid, with very close fighting, but now most of the grid is now split up with multiple fights here and there. We see Levi, Ayman, as well as a few Red Bulls, one behind each other. Ernest is Kendra. Right now, 1 second gap between each other, and honestly, it's now just a game of survival for every driver.
Yeah, we're just about a third into the race, 14 laps in, and we still have about 2/3 to go. That's pretty long. I say it's a short track with 36 laps, a short lap for sure, but yeah, it takes a while, especially in the rain when everyone's just not bunched up. They're all separated. They're trying to survive, like you say. It's gonna take a while before anything really happens. So right now, probably the closest thing we have to a battle is probably the two Red Bulls here in Red Bull Ring. Kendra and Scientist here, are they going to work together? Is Scientist going to let Kendra through, or are they going to, enforce a no team order right now? Just open battles right now. As it stands in the championship as well, Red Bull will need some good points to get up to P7, P6, even if they can get a few more points. Every single point here will be crucial for their final standing. Alan, okay, he's starting to close up again, 11.3, just a touch quicker than Sharis, and starting to, well, I wouldn't say inching in lap after lap. The gap is still floating around 6 seconds there. Levi Tiger Pants on Kendrick. This might go on for a little longer, Nick.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I think it's the best option is to just have Levi pressure Kendrick from afar and just have Kendrick just force an issue, as you see just now with Switz and Kendrick as well. But Levi definitely have to be slightly closer to give Kendrick any sort of pressure. Kendrick is able to just be on his own most of the time though. So right now, just looking at the two Red Bulls, Kendra trying to get an overtake on Ernest, but the constant locking on is definitely not helping them. The tire wear definitely will not be favorable, so definitely need to be careful. And both Red Bulls right now behind the McLaren, they have to really work together just to make sure that both of them overtake their McLaren as clean as possible.
Yeah, Kendra right definitely looks to be the faster driver right now, as we were riding on board with him. Oh, what do you say that? Scientist trying to go for a move. Maybe he's got to hurry up there from the pit wall to get a move on Ayman.
Or
all the Red Bulls are trying to get past the McLaren here.
Yeah, Kendra might have slid a little bit onto turn 2, maybe a little bit of avoiding action, but definitely both cars held up by the McLaren through a little bit of dirty air, but at the same time just a small distraction that you have in front of you. When you're in the wets, you really don't want any distraction because you really want to focus 100% on just keeping the car on track, and the distraction in front definitely does not help with their lap time in this moment of time.
It is coming out of Sector 3 where Kendra seems to be at his strongest here, but coming into Turn 1, Turn 2 where the straights are, that's where he's losing it a little bit. He might not have enough
constantly locks up here.
Sure, yeah, there you go, the lock up once again.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how two drivers overtake. As Ernest gives the position for him, so it's gonna be up to Kendra to make it overtake. Not sure if both of them like it though, given that Ayman doesn't have a good track record with Kendra, even in the sprint race, both spun in the race, but it's gonna be a close fight. I guess we'll see what happens between the two of them.
Yeah, pretty close. Up in front in P5, Kendrick still holding on Levi. Or is Levi just not having the pace in the wets right now? Maybe a dry setup, maybe just lack of pace. And then we'll continue with Kendra here immediately on the gearbox of Ayman already. So he's much more comfortable being the attacking car here. Second one in the train, and that seemed like almost like a warning there for sure. But Ayman, I think he's ready to defend this hard into Turn 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see how their performance in braking is into Turn 1. Kendra always has a horrible braking into Turn 1, locking up the brakes. If he is able to maintain it, he might be able to make an overtake, but if he locks up, it's going to cause a lot of issues here, and hopefully not as he does bump into the back of Ayman as we expected coming to Turn 1, but seems like no issue here. We're just going to have to see if he's able to make an overtake on Turn 2 as he does try to go for the outside line, but Ayman now on the inside line. It's going to be not that much of a compromise, both squeezing each other out, but respectful racing for the two of them. Kendra gets squeezed out wide though, but pretty fair for the two of them. Now, Ayman might have a better exit compared to Kendra, but still, with the amount ARS deployed, it's going to have a good lunge into turn 4. as he locks up. But will it make it happen? It Kendra makes it stick and gets the position from Ayman Heikel.
Yeah, finally, a little bit of wheel banging for sure. Tough racing or hard racing, you call it. Kendra gets ahead and immediately looks like he's the faster car right now. He's released now. He has a 10-second gap to catch up to Kendra. Oh, Kendra. Kendra has a 10-second gap to catch up to Kendrick. Both the Kens there. Can Kendra catch up to Kendrick? There's a lot of Kens there,
Well,
Nick. I don't want to put any more Ken of
It's going to
worms.
catch up to Levi Tiger fans before catching up to Kendrick, but I get your point.
Yeah, the longer Kendrick holds up Levi, the faster Kendra might catch up. And in all that, Kendrick is actually catching up to Raiden here. So did Raiden have a spin, or is this Raiden struggling right now? Well,
I
we
think
don't
it
know.
could be just really struggling right now because I think a lot of the drivers here have a lot of dry setups.
okay.
Not a lot of them have wet setups as Kendrick maybe fighting against. Oh, that's Ernest fighting against
Yes.
Ayman Heikel. Both Red Bulls giving the McLaren a piece of their mind, but will the overtake stick as both of them side by side to turn 4? And Scientist gets a barrel braking for Ayman. I think Ayman just decides to just yield for the position, better to stay in the race than get taken out again for this race.
Yeah, and finally the two Red Bulls get past the McLaren of Ayman here. So Ayman just doing his best. He knows what's up in the championship. Points finish is what he needs. He don't need to risk it with too much of a battle with the Red Bulls right now. Their battle is with Mercedes, who are currently in P3 and P10. As it stands, the McLarens will outscore the Mercedes at the end of this race. So that's a good position for Ayman right now. And Kendra, well, it's not really catching up to Levi anymore. If anything, Kendrick is starting to catch up to Raiden here. All the while,
I was gonna say one driver is catching up. Ellen, 4 seconds behind Sharris now. Slowly but surely, will be catching up to Sharris. But will it be in time before the race end to be able to perform a overtake? I think that will really be up to Ellen and making sure that he's able to catch up without having any penalties.
catching is one thing, passing is another, as the late Murray Walker used to say. But yeah, Alan seems to have a little bit of pace in hand at the phase where the tries start to drop off, usually around the 20-25% mark where the tries really start to drop off. And I think with that high downforce that Alan's running, he's really starting to catch up to Sharris. So it's imperative that he gets close to Sharris right now and maybe even get past him in order to have a chance at least for the race win, or even stay close to Sharris to challenge him for the win. You don't want Sharris to get a free win though on his potentially championship winning race here. You want to give a little bit of a battle here for sure. Sharris, not exactly, well, in a comfortable zone. He is pushing a little bit with his battery, while Alan's a lot more comfortable with his battery levels here. Switch has disconnected, and that's doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. Is this a repeat of last week? Is this gonna be a... Oh no! That's a missing switch there, a missing Mercedes, and it might take a while for that Mercedes to come back. We'll have to hold on though, as the gap up in front is starting to come down faster and faster. Right, riding on board with Alan here. 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds as we head into lap 21 of 36 here. Just halfway through, and well, it's still a long way to go. 15 laps, 16 laps. It's starting to close up here.
Yeah, actually, with Alan being, I think, with the wheel driving, more conservative with their energy use as well as with their inputs, definitely has made them, as we see, as he misses turn 2. As I was gonna say, being a bit more careful with inputs definitely has nursed the tires to be a bit more performing at the later stages of the tire. But as you can see, any small driver mistakes will affect the time that you have gained in front end. It's up to Alan's mental endurance to make sure that he's able to stay concentrated to chase up to Sharris in front. As we see the fight for P4 with Raiden, Kendrick, and Levi now closing into each other, and even if they don't overtake, Raiden with the 3-second penalty will just give them the position regardless right now.
Yeah, he has the 3 for sure. He's gonna lose these 2 positions at the end of the race. But Kendrick and Levi, well, they have to be careful not to pick up any more penalties if they already have. Levi running pretty close here. For a moment I thought he was gonna send it down the inside. But yeah, Kendrick parks it just not in the middle of the track, but just positions the car just well for turn 4 in a position where Levi can't really go for the move. And He holds on for that P5 right now, and into the middle sector he is much quicker than Raiden as well. You can see he is closing, so dirty air not really effective for him with that high downforce for sure. Maybe, I don't know if there's going to be dry session or not after this, but it definitely looks like Kendrick right now has the advantage. Switz with the disconnection, he's going to lose all these positions here. He's going to drop down to P6, so Raiden will inherit that P3. Kendrick will get that P4 right now. Levi will surely get past that Ghost and Mercedes very shortly. And there you go, Raiden up into P3 right now. Kendrick looking good for a podium right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very close if Levi does not have a good overtake on Kendrick though. But given that there are about 14 laps remaining, I think there should be another pit stop for the other drivers, or is it just going to be Inter's until the very end, do you think?
Well, Inter till the end is definitely possible if drivers have taken care of the tires. Yeah, then you get to go till the end. But you know, rain, yeah, it has stabilized, Nick. I don't think it's going to go away anywhere any soon. Probably till lap 30 at least, looking at this. But yeah, if it's going till the end, whoever has the better tire wear might just be the winner here. Or if it's gonna rain till the end, someone may gamble for a second set of intermediate tires right now, have the faster tire to come back through, and with that tire delta, repass on track for that track position. Yellow's ahead in turn 3. That is
that one again.
Gone around again. Not good for him for sure. Favorite track, but not exactly going his way. It's about to get left, I'm sure here. But yeah, still continuing. That's the most important thing. Get the points for the team.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
You see Ellen now, 2 seconds. Yeah, 1.9, and it's closing in. Yet you can see his energy barely using any sort of energy compared to Shari's. Is Shari's using any more energy than him? And if that's the case,
Saving
actually
up.
both, yeah, toe by toe.
Yeah,
so both know that they can't use too much of their energy, and you know, Alan's just kind of getting the better pace as you see Kendrick almost locking up and fighting into Raiden, but able to save it. But with that exit, Levi now has a better exit into turn 6. Nope, stays behind and basically now has a very big train behind Raiden. Kendrick and Levi both trying to get an overtake on Raiden for this exit, but they have to get a very good exit on the last corner just to have a good run. Because remember, no DRS in these wet conditions, so you really have to. It's all up to your driving line to get a good exit, as well as just use up all the energy that you have to make a good overtake here in this kind of conditions.
Yeah, despite that early mistake from Kendrick, he's recovered well, and now Raiden makes a mistake, which invites Kendrick to get a little closer coming out of turn 10. And this might be the opportunity. Raiden runs a little bit wide here. Kendrick gets the burners on. Raiden gets the burners on as well. Levi might spot a 2-for-1 here, but he's out of juice. Can Kendrick dive down the inside? No,
it's too far
away. Oh, but he runs wide.
Raiden
runs wide, and that is opportunity for Kendrick, Nick.
Yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate. Now Levi can't capitalize on it because he does not have any energy left. Raiden though has a bunch of energy to fight for it, and he does. Coming down to turn 4, has the inside line, and then both side by side coming into the exit, and Kendrick gets pushed back into the previous position of P4 and now has to fight back with Levi.
That battery and that top speed is what's saving Raiden right now in these wet conditions. 11 laps to go, and the rain seems to have stopped.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's drying up.
Oh, it's gonna be a dry end. It's gonna be interesting for them. Unfortunately for Ellen, though, that just means that his position
if only he did not lose that 5 seconds, I think him and Charis would have been nose to nose, side by side, or even Ellen might have been leading right now by quite a margin. So it's all ifs and buts. Levi, first one into the pits. Gambling already onto the softs here?
Early. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna work, buddy.
Maybe it might just work though if it's just 1 lap earlier than what you'd expect. He'll get the tires warmed up way quicker than everyone else. He'll have the warm tires by the time everyone makes their pit stop. We're riding on board with Levi tire pants today, right now, to see if this medium tires is going to work out here. Aswan Jupri still on the medium tires, doing his best to fight back on the intermediates.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a bit too cold. It's too DRS is enabled. It is medium. It is medium.
Is this a godly call? What's happened to Ellen? Why is he disqualified from the session? Did he What's happened there?
He
What's happened there
got
to Ellen?
disqualified.
Oh no!
Huh?
What has happened to Ellen? Oh no! That was looking great for him.
No.
Did he spin out of the pit exit there?
I think he did spin on a pit exit. I think that is just unfortunate.
Oh no, Ellen. Oh, Ellen, that is painful. Very, very painful for Ellen. But
Oh
yeah,
my God, that is
it's all
devastating for
drying
the
up right
driver.
now. And it's all kicking off up in front. Charis has that 40-second gap already. And it's no contest for him. But Raiden, he's into the pits. Kendrick is into the pits as well. Levi, who made that jump
And
one
in
lap
the
earlier.
softs.
Kendra's on the soft. Okay, that might work. 10 laps to go till the end. So he might make it work. What about Levi though? Look at this. He's made the jump with that undercut onto the medium tires. Calling it on the right lap. He jumps. Both of them, both Raiden and Kendrick, now fall behind. Now down to P3, Raiden goes. Kendrick still behind him on the mediums. Kendra a little far away to catch up, but Charis, the race leaders, into the pits as well. So it is looking like the time to switch to new tires.
Yeah, but Ting Tong Bell right now, P6 in the AlphaTauri, definitely not ideal for them to still be in Inters. Actually, you can see here the track's already dried up, even though it looks patchy, but without any standing water, the intermediate tires definitely will burn out very soon. Actually, immediately. Actually, it should be overheating right now, but they have about 2/3 of the lap remaining, and you can see them struggling. As you see, Ernest already closing in rapidly against the AlphaTauri driver, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Oh, we can see a driver get teleported back
Sector 3
outside.
on the pit
Yeah, because he
straight.
got teleported outside. Not sure what has happened to the driver, but they are on the pit straight. I think it's gonna be a Alfa Romeo driver. I think that's from Li Chichun. Maybe spinning out, maybe at the pit exit. Who knows? But it is pretty wet conditions. As much as we have drivers in dry tires, you gotta remember that you don't have as much grip as you could in a properly dry track right now.
Right, there we go. Ting Tong Bell is into the pits finally, and we have a 5-6 for Red Bull once again. Kendra making, Scientist making that 2 laps undercut for sure. Not exactly working out for him, but he might have had a slow pit entry there. Kendra up into P5 now. He has 8 seconds to catch up to Kendrick here, who is trying to catch up to Raiden, who is trying to catch up to Levi. So the battle for P2 on track might just go on a little longer till the end. All the while, up in front, Charis is, well, doing his thing, and that might just be his championship win. Oh, that's it. That's Li Chichun, is that off? Yeah, he's off once again, coming out of turn 7 there. Spun, and his, well,
Is
not
he
spun.
still inside?
Yeah, he's back on track. Yeah, he's back on track.
But I think as he gets issues, some tank slappers here. I think he's just not used to the semi-wet, semi-dry conditions of these on the dry tires. It's not the full grip that we expect from a dry track. So it's definitely gonna be careful. Though we don't simulate wet curbs, so not much to worry about for these drivers. But definitely a little bit of an issue for this current driver right now.
There you go, fastest laps are starting to come in. And, well, Charis takes the fastest lap for now, taking it away from Canada. On those soft tires, track is still drying up, which means the cars will start to go faster. 108 is the fastest lap right now. I believe we're pretty close to the optimal conditions once the lap times hit around 7s or the 8s, but the tires will drop off as well. Austrian GP, after a good fight back, now he's finding himself in P7, just under a second behind Scientist, who is on this medium tire. So Aswan has that fresher and softer tire advantage here, just by 1 lap. But now DRS is enabled as well in this dry condition, so that might be an easy overtake coming.
Yeah, it might look like an easy overtake, but will the overtake stick though? Now AJ closing in very strongly on Ernest. Definitely has to really think about where to make a good run, because as much as you like to close in on the driver in front, if you're not able to get a good exit, you're just wasting your time. But a very good exit by AJ, and it's going to be an overtake by AJ, and gets the fastest lap as well. But Charis gets the fastest lap back with 107.38.
3-second time.
Charis gets a 3-second penalty.
Well, that's rare to see from Charis. Side by side, they are Aswan and Scientist into turn number 3. Who's gonna get the DRS? Looks like there was a little bit of DRS chicken being played over there, and this time Azwan gets the DRS, pulls on the outside, running low on battery here. Scientist has the inside line, but he can't challenge. That soft tire is proving to be a little bit too quick at this stage, and Azwan goes up to P6. Next time for him is Kendra, who has a 6-second time penalty. Let's bring up the penalty update. That's only a 3-second penalty, my bad. So he has about 3.6 seconds to catch up for that P5 right now. As it is, Levi will take that P2 away. Kendrick will get his first podium in a race, not just a sprint race, in a race. If he can keep it here in P4, he is chasing after Raiden. Right now, 2.5 seconds is the gap. He's comfortably in P4, but he needs that 3 seconds to be within that 3 seconds to take away that P3 if he wants it. Raiden catching up to Levi, and I think this is where the dry tires, the dry setup might finally come into play here. He's so much quick on the straights and DRS enabled as well. Raiden might just go for the overtake, try to pull that 3-second gap if he could, but Levi is not exactly pulling away, which is inviting Kendrick back into that 3-second gap of Raiden right now.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, so Raiden has a lower downforce setup, so it's definitely going to be very beneficial for Raiden to be very close to Levi as much as possible, just to have a good exit on the final exit, or at the exit of turn 3. Actually, to be fair, the exit of turn 3 is a better overtaking spot, given that you don't have much of a longer runoff to get a second try on the next corner. So definitely maybe scheming to have an overtake there, but a good exit here will definitely be on the cards. But no, he does not get a good exit. Now 6/10 behind Levi, definitely not a good place to overtake, and he thinks better of it, conserves his energy for maybe possibly either. But the DRS definitely does not. This is beneficial for him to just stay behind Levi for it.
3 more seconds time penalty for Kendra, which means now Azwan is in that 6-second window, and that's Kendra probably going to be losing a few more positions. If his teammate could get within 6 seconds, that's damage limitation done for the Red Bull team. But we're going back to the battle here for P2 on track. Raiden with that 3-second time penalty, doing his best to follow Levi along, try to get away from Kendrick's 2 seconds. That's interesting dynamics shaping out into the final 5 laps of the race.
That's going to be very interesting. Who knew that we were expecting a very dry race at the very end? Definitely the changing conditions in this lobby has definitely changed things up. Some drivers might not like the changing weather, but it definitely has showed you what definitely can happen when we stir up the weather.
Right, one more time. I think Raiden's losing all the time in sector 2 and 3 in these high-speed corners. Levi pulls the gap, but he has enough of a gap. Coming out of turn 1, 6/10, 5/10, I think just enough to survive the attack here. On to turn 3, that's the easiest overtaking zone, the longest straight here. Running down into turn 4
oh, no.
here. Oh, yeah, let's hold that down. That's
AJ,
Azwan.
3-second time
Split up
penalty.
with 3 seconds, yeah. And that means Scientist might suddenly find himself. Why is he ghosted? He's getting blue flags from Shares, who our race leader in P1 here. He's getting blue flags to everyone here. So a good job though. On a day where we thought Alan might challenge him for a win, Alan's unfortunately getting that unfair DSQ for some reason. We don't know what happened. That just means Shares is running away.
Sources blocking the pit lane after spinning. That is a little bit unfortunate.
Oh yeah, pushing too hard this time on the exit for sure, and that's costed him all that race time. Back on track, Raiden much closer this time to Levi Tiger Pants, 4/10 the gap. Is this an overtake coming? We go off board onto the helicam here. What's happening? Is Raiden gonna go for it? No, plays the
very
DRS
close.
chicken, Nick.
Nope. But does it matter? No, he has to have a good exit here, but he does not have a good exit, unfortunately. Levi has a better exit here, so it's not really a good option to make an overtake, but it's closing in because he, before a move, no, he thinks better of it. I think Raiden is just now, using Levi as a DRS train just to get away from Kendrick, but is he really gaining much time at the back of Levi, or does he really want to make an overtake just so he could, stay in front? I think that will really be up to Raiden to see. But they are definitely, leaving a very big gap behind Kendrick. Right now, 4 seconds is the gap to Raiden, so he's definitely clear on that part. The only question is, does he want to do it on the very last 2 laps? There are 4 laps remaining. He definitely has to time the overtake right on Levi, or else he's just going to stick here in P3.
Yeah, top speed on his side. Raiden can make the move if he wants into turn 2, into turn 3 or turn 4 even. But Levi looks like he is the faster driver in sector 2 and 3, which is where he's pulling all that advantage he needs.
Oh,
Yeah, once again, I think he's just using Levi as a DRS cart and carriage here. Pull him along.
Austrian sector 1. I think that's Kendrick.
Is that
I
Kendrick?
know that's Kendra. Sorry. That's spun on turn 1. Definitely recovering from this drive right now. But definitely interesting to see why they have spun. AJ though, because of it, has caught up significantly to the car in front. Not sure why he gets. Oh, I forgot.
It's Sharis who's coming to lap them. Sharis in P1, now about to lap Kendra, who is in P5. Brilliant job, I must say, by Sharis today. But yeah, there you go. That's the reality sometimes you have to face. That's the fastest driver in the season, in Season 6 and in Season 7 as well. There you go. Oh, looks like that's some damage on Kendra's front left as well. And Aswan gets past him.
Oh, no.
Scientist almost running into the back of his teammate, but gets past it safely. Now Scientist will only have to stay within 3 seconds of Aswan Jupri here to get that P5 away. Kendrick, can he do any more in this final 2 laps here? He's pushing so hard you could see visibly that probably he's gritting his teeth from far away. He's so close to his first ever podium in the main race. He's only 1.5 seconds short of it. Raiden is just holding back behind Levi. He has that 3-second advantage that he needs. He doesn't have to play any dangerous games here.
Yeah, and definitely he has another lap to go, given that Shari is basically so far behind. So he definitely knows that he can overtake at turn 2. So I think that's definitely where he wants to take it. Or as we can see, a car spinning out in turn 6, but has recovered. So the two of them definitely has to figure out what they want to do. As we see a side-by-side action with Ayman and Kendra. Ayman just pushing him a little bit far, a little bit cheeky, but you know, fair game to both of them. Still fighting on strong for the very last lap of this race.
Right, 2 more corners, 2 more sectors to go, and this is gonna be the championship winning lap for Sharis. 2 more corners to go, and he will be crowned Season 7's champion with 2 races to spare. Across the line, we've only won. Sharis wins the Austrian GP, and he becomes the champion of Season 7. 2 in a row for him. Well done, and there you go, 2 championships in a row. See you in Season 8, I suppose. Last to first challenge in the final 2 race, we don't know. But we still have battles here going on. Raiden versus Levi. Raiden this time around going for the attack. And I don't think he's bothering about that penalty anymore. Maybe? Lee Chi-chun though, he retires on the final lap, on the final exit.
That's unfortunate.
That's going to keep him in P12 probably. It's only the last driver to be lapped. Raiden falling behind Levi. I think this is going to be an easy P2 for Levi and P3 for Raiden. Kendrick though, valiant effort. He will come home in P4 in a few corners time. And across the line, there you go. Levi Tiger Pants takes home that P2. Raiden takes that P3. Kendrick, a brilliant race. So short, 1.5 seconds away from that podium, but nevertheless a valiant effort for that podium today. Zach Wen, in his favorite track, survives long enough to come home in P12 and take away the final checkered flag of the day.
Definitely a very interesting race from all drivers involved tonight. Definitely a very good race by Sharis.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Ellen, I feel very sad to see that they have got disqualified for a bit of a mistake, but I think that
it's one of those times where you would want to use resetting to track, but you know, in the heat of the moment, things can happen and drivers may forget you know, certain things that can.
And also the fact that you
done.
get a penalty for resetting the track in an unsafe manner.
Well, is it better than getting disqualified? For
Well,
sure, 5 seconds
debatable.
versus a DSQ still gives you a fighting chance for sure. But there you go. With a clear margin today, Sharis wins the race and becomes the champion of Season 7. Wins the sprint, wins the race. I think maximum points for him. Fastest lap in the race as well. And I think that just proves to you, the champion, once again.
Definitely a very weird race tonight with a rain start to a very dry end. So it's definitely very interesting to see how things have gotten. But congrats to all the drivers involved. Yes, Sharis, Levi Raiden, Kenrick right now. The few drivers off that notably finished the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, beautiful race. We had a dry, boring kind of sprint, but it set up to be a beautiful, beautiful race here. Full wets to inters to dries, all three weather conditions that you could get. And we had plenty of action, plenty of heartbreak as well for Alan, who was looking good for that P2 at the very least. With that unfortunate DSQ, is well, he will get his P14 restored for sure. But yeah, heartbreak all over, and I think he'll definitely come back stronger in Silverstone and Spa. Now let's head into the driver interviews today, Nick. We already have Alan in the comms box, so let's get the tough part out of the way for today. So let's get Alan into the comms box here. Nick, I guess you may want to ask him what happened there.
It's been an amazing race here, seeing you this weekend. Sprint race, amazing overtake on Ernest at the start, and now with the race, you had it all in the bag. You see, you're closing very close to Sharis as the track dries up, but unfortunately at the very end, a disqualification. Can you tell us what happened that caused it?
Well, Sharis was my guinea pig, so whatever he did, I followed. So that made pretty good progress with the race. But what happened was I thought I was going to pit, and I thought, man, I'll do one more lap because he didn't pit. And so I took that first corner a bit too hard, touched the curb, and just spun. And I didn't hit the wall or anything, but I just spun, touched the grass, and I was just, throttled and to do another spin to go back onto the track, and the thing says disqualified. I was like, oh, okay.
Was that the one where you spun onto the pit exit, which gave you that DSQ, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Unfortunate for sure. Make sure to report that you could get your final position reinstated, but it will just be a P14, better than nothing for sure, right?
I feel good about it because it was better than last week's race. It was I feel it was nice and clean. So
yeah, what was the reason behind that pace today? You were challenging Sharis for the race win for sure. Downforce, maybe just extra preparation or just clicking with the track.
I spent a lot of time practicing too, but I do like this track a lot, and I don't think I would be able to take him on if I was side by side. I was keeping tabs with him, but I was using a lot of battery to stay close. So yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to see what would happen at the end. He was 5 seconds ahead most of the time, so it was interesting.
Yeah, and that first pit stop onto the intermediates where he took it a little too safe, right? Lost you 5 seconds. How would that have changed the race? You were fighting back. You had a 6-second gap after the pit stop. You were within 2 seconds just on the transition to the dries. You would have led the race probably.
Well, exiting the pit, I went too fast and I nearly smashed into the barrier and took my wing off. So that's where I lost the time. I don't know what was happening with him because he was slowing down a lot. Maybe due to ghosting of the other cars, I'm not sure, overtaking, but I just felt I was just driving normal, just trying to keep it together. But yeah, it's all good. He did a well-deserved job. That was challenging, really challenging.
All ifs and buts, but yeah, I think 2 races to go. Silverstone and Spa. I think with Sharis now winning the championship, he might take it a little easier. But
I don't think so.
I mean, he's not going to slow down, but he might just do some funny last first or all those things. Do you see a chance for you to win your first race in MSRL next 2 weeks?
Maybe not this season, but definitely next season. I've learned a lot from the guys. I know how they drive now, so I'm a bit more comfortable around it. But see how we go.
Yeah, thank you so much, Levi.
Thank you.
Once again, so heartbreaking with Levi's DSQ there, but we are sure he will get back on top of his game for Silverstone next weekend. Next on, let's get the teammate of the champion. So let's get Aiman Haikal in. So Aiman, first off, congratulations to you and your teammate for winning the Drivers' Championship. So I know he's not going to be, he's shaking his head to not join the voice chat. But as his teammate, maybe what would you want to say on his behalf for this season winning the championship?
It was an unexpected champion. Sorry, just kidding. It was to be fair, from the first race, it was expected for him to win the championship again. So it's no surprise here. But I didn't expect him to be this dominant over the course of the season, because we have like drivers like Levi and AJ were quite fast. They are the same pace with Charis at some tracks. But yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe, just maybe, McLaren may have overtaken Mercedes after today's race for the Constructors' Championship. So it's not over just yet for you and Charis.
Yep.
You guys still need to do your good work every week that you've been doing. 2 more races to go. Is this like a turning point or like a stressful point for you, because it's very tight in the championship battle now?
Not really, because because in Silverstone, I don't think I will be able to attend the race.
Oh,
No.
all right. That's some news heading into Silverstone, ladies and gentlemen. Cars Aiman Hakal will not be around. Will that be the chance that the Mercedes drivers need to catch back up with Switzer's disconnection today? We'll find out next week. Aiman, how was your race? Let's get back to you. How was the race? Wet race to start, and then inters, and then dries. A lot of battles. What was your choice of setup today? Dries or wets today?
Okay, firstly in the sprint, I thought I was going to get at least P4 or P3, but someone just decided to dive into turn 1. But then in the race, during the wet stint, it was horrible for me until we got to inters and dries. It got better for me, because on the wets I was very slow even with the wet setup.
all right. That was. I think a lot of drivers had a split choice as well. We saw some drivers were quick at the end, and some were quick at the start. So I think, given that the race was more than half on the rain, you definitely had the better option for the race start. So yeah, we'll see you for the finale in Belgium then in 2 weeks, Aiman.
Yep.
So hopefully you are well rested and ready to fight the Mercedes for the finale. It's going to be a cracking one for sure. Now let's get a few more drivers who are waiting in the wings. So let's get Scientists. And so hello to Scientists. Good day. Another good finish today, Scientists. Ernest, what a show in Red Bull Ring. Home race for the team. How's it been feeling so far? 2 in a row.
I mean, personally, I'm quite gutted. A bit like Lando in Spain. I think on the final corner, I got a 3-second. Like, absolutely on the final corner. I could have gotten P6, so I'm quite gut-wrenched. But overall, I think it was a pretty strong one for the team. I was considering my teammates' every action, just trying to let him pass and all that. So I think we played the good team game, got some really, really strong points for Red Bull, and I guess can look forward to round 11, I guess. Wasn't a bad race, but wasn't a good race either. Yeah.
I think that was the turning point for the race for you, for both the Red Bulls, you guys, yourself and Kendra, right? Working together to get past Aiman, who was holding you guys up for quite a long time, and then eventually, once you guys got the free air, it started to become a little easier from that to manage. And I think you could say your P6 here today, definitely, part of it comes from the decision to let your teammate through early so that you could both attack him.
I mean, yeah, that was the game plan that I had in mind. Just let Kendra pass. I know they'll fight it out a bit because their pace is pretty even. So I was hoping to just stay behind and pounce. So I guess lesson learned. Sometimes you need to think ahead in advance and just plan out your moves. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. 2 races in a row. I think it's starting to click, although it's coming to an end of the season. 2 races to go, which is Silverstone and Spa, 2 very high-speed tracks, favorite tracks of a lot of drivers. Not just in here, but everywhere else. How do you rate your chances in those 2 races to end the season?
It's been a while since I practiced those tracks, but obviously hoping that more wet races would give me an advantage, because I think I would be fast on the wets, on the inters and full wets. So just hope for more.
Yeah, Nick's gonna hate me for jinxing it. I was so happy to see a full wet race at the start, but yeah, it had to happen sometime. a wet Silverstone or a wet Spa is going to be treacherous. But yeah, maybe just want to be prepared for that. So we'll see you next week. I mean, we'll see you for the incidents for sure if there's any. But yeah, on track, we'll see you next week. And yeah, good luck with the chase for P6, P7 in the Constructors' Championship as well. Red Bull are going pretty well there to recover towards the end of the season. And now let's get Levi and Raiden together into the media room. So Levi and Raiden, hello once again. We decided to pull you guys in together. P2 for Levi, P3 for Raiden. If not for that 3-second time penalty, Raiden, I think you would have gotten past Levi and get the P2 for yourself.
That's supposed to be the plan because I don't know. I might wanna double check again on the penalties because I got it on the first morning, so that doesn't sound fair to me. So,
Well,
so nonetheless, what my plan is that I plan to follow Levi to make a gap for between me and Kendrick because with the 3-second penalty, obviously I'm gonna lose a podium. So for a few laps, I was just right behind him, just trying to get his DRS, make sure the gap's about 4 seconds and stuff. Was safe enough. Then,
definitely a heartbreak for Kendrick for sure. He was in front of the train, and then the pit stops came. Levi made that 1 lap undercut, which we were doubting, but it quickly dried up in a lap. And Levi, what made you go into the pit so early on that 1 lap before everyone?
Well, my engineer was saying it was a mix between there's no what's fast at the moment, and I was like, I was stuck behind the two for a while and burning my ERS trying to stay up, keep up, and so I figured, I'll just pit and then hopefully it'll dry up in time, and it did, which was nice. And then it was about trying to keep Raiden out of DRS for a while, but quickly got in it, and and then for the last lap, I figured I could let Raiden pass because he's a pen, but I thought he might get a remove because it happens reasonably often where the game penalizes 1 warning.
Yep. Hey, it happens, and I think that was definitely a good game plan there to keep Raiden behind. You were looking quick in sector 2 and 3 where you pulled that gap, to 6 tenths, 7 tenths, and then Raiden will pull that back, but not enough to make a move down into turn 1, or even in turn 3 and turn 4. So that undercut definitely saved you and got you that P2. But what if you decided to box a little later? Do you think you would have gotten where you finished today in P2?
I don't know, it's probably impossible to tell, but I assume I had higher downforce, so it would have been harder to overtake. Especially with how long the straights are here, but I don't know, we'd have to see.
Yeah,
all
the ifs and buts for sure. Right. Yeah. And last question here for the both of you. Now heading into Silverstone, we have seen last week in Spain, you guys were going tooth and nail for the entire lap. This time we didn't see y'all going tooth and nail for the entire lap because I'm assuming that the penalty played into the game plan. But in Silverstone and Spa for the finale, what's the game plan there? With 2 races to go, it's still pretty tight between the two of you, and the other drivers in the championship as well. P2 is still up for grabs. What's your motivation to get that P2 there, Levi?
Have fun and finish as high as possible.
Boring. Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect, Alvin? Guy takes someone out.
Yeah, maybe. Right?
I mean, I think that's a job left for Kendra.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. That's a little harsh to say on the stream now. But yeah, I think
sorry.
Raiden, what's your game plan? Maybe a little less boring answer?
probably same as Levi. I mean, granted that the two of us pretty, close to each other, like in terms of racing and the race pace and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see that myself being in the top 3 if possible. because you know.
Yeah, and all the driving as well has been really helping Alpine. Right now, you guys are definitely past Williams for that P3. And if Mercedes continue to slip up, it might open up an opportunity for, P2. Maybe Levi and Raiden would love to drive for Alpine if your teammate doesn't show up, Raiden. That's a good chance for Alpine to get that P2 there. More motivation to work together.
Why not?
Right? Why not? We've seen how you guys can fight it out cleanly, perhaps work together. But yeah, it's all hypothetical situations here. We'll see next week heading into Silverstone, where we had a cracking battle last time out, ladies and gentlemen, between Charis and Azwan Jupri for the race win. The one race where Charis was finally exposed and crumbled by the attack of Azwan Jupri. Can we see that happen once again? We came pretty close to that in Spain. We came pretty close today as well, with Alan challenging for the race win until that unfortunate DSQ. Stay tuned for next weekend. We're heading to Silverstone for the penultimate race of the season. Over to you, Nick, to close it up, as we are running a little late. The sprint qualifying has started in real life.
Alright, I'm not gonna put too much time into it then, but if you enjoyed the race tonight, be sure to give us a like. If you do want to watch more of this race of the season, there's 2 races remaining. Be sure to give us a subscribe. If you want to join us in the league, as you can see, the league's getting a little bit thin. You can definitely join us as a research driver for the remaining 2 races of the series. Definitely check out the sign up links in the championship below. Or you can also join us on Discord. It's a good place to hang out. We try to moderate our drivers as much as you could. And if you like to see any of our other socials, links are always in the description below as well. It's been fun. Round 10 of MSRL Season 7 in F1 2023. So yeah, it's been nice. Thanks, Delvin, for being here.
Thank you,
and
Nick.
it's gonna be
Good to have
us
you
signing
around.
off for tonight.
Well, that's it, and let's go to the sprint qualifying. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and that's a very quick goodbye.
Bye.